threads. How can we create thread by using two different methods? By implementing runnable interface, another one was by extending the thread superclass. So these two techniques we have seen. And in this class, I'll be explaining how to create multiple threads, more than one thread. So this, in the previous example, two threads were created, main thread and the child thread. And in this program, we are having three different threads. So thread 1, 2, and 3. So three different threads are being created. So I'll open the program. Program files. JDK. When. So this program for creating three threads, multi-thread demo, right? Multi-thread demo.java. So the syntax of multi-thread demo is same as that of the previous programs. So only thing here is this is the place where we are creating three different threads. So for the first thread, the name given is 1, 2, and 3 respectively for the second and third threads. So and here the main thread is executing in this particular statement. And as a part of the main thread, we have not given any of the executable statements. Only we are making main thread to suspend for 10,000 milliseconds. So why so much time is given is we are waiting for these three different threads to complete. That is thread number 1, 2, and 3 needs to be completed. For that purpose, only thing here is the main thread is waiting till all the three threads are completing their execution. And the execution part is saying in the for loop, how actually it happens here is the constructor new thread is called first, and we are giving name of the thread as 1. So this will make this particular constructor definition to be called, and in the constructor definition we are displaying the details of the thread here, and then the start method is being invoked. So what start method will do, it will invoke the run function of the corresponding thread, and within the run function the exact functioning of the thread is taking place, like how we have seen in the previous classes. In the run function, what is happening here is the value of I is being displayed from 5 to 1, and that thread number 1 is being made to sleep for 1,000 milliseconds or 1 second after every iteration. And at the end of execution, that particular child thread is being exited. If it is 1, it will display like 1 exiting, 2 exiting, 3 exiting. So the same applies for second thread as well as third thread. But in the real-time execution, the order of threads may differ depending on the processor, depending on the number of events, number of processes which are executing in our system. The order of threads 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. So we can execute, the execution order may differ. So I'll show the output here. You'll come to know how the execution order will be differing. Multithread demo.java, Java multithread demo, right? So you can see here the threads are being executed, right? So this delay is for main thread. So because we have given 10,000 millisecond for the main thread, so at the end it will be waiting for a long time. So you can see this order from the textbook, right? If you see from the textbook here, this is what is the output, one sample output which is given in the book. But here order is different in what we have executed. So thread 1, 2, and 3, third thread is being created here. Before that, first thread has executed for its one instance, that is 1.5. But here in the book, it is 1.5 is appearing here, and here it's appearing here. And similarly, you can compare these two orders are different. Why? Because depending on the number of processes which are executing in our system, the order of execution of threads will differ. So if you rerun this same program, we may not get the same order, right? So in this case, it is following the same order: 433, 322, 211, 1, and here its main thread is terminating. So this the order which is coming here is different and order what we are getting here is different. So that is depending on the processor. So that is how we can create more than 2 threads. Now is, alive and join are the two fundamental functions. So why these functions will be used here is, whenever there are, assume there is main thread which has created some n number of threads. If we want to know, or if main function wants to know whether the child thread are alive or not, that means at any given point of time, if you want to know how many threads are alive in the system, that means how many threads are still executing. For that purpose, we use the method called isAlive. So it's going to return a Boolean return type, either true or false, on which thread you are going to execute this function. If the thread is still executing, it will return true value. The thread has stopped or completed its execution, it will return false value. And another method being used here is join. So what join does here is, after execution, it will wait for other threads to complete. That means the join method waits until the thread on which it is called terminates. That means it will wait for completion of the thread. That is what is meaning of the join. So I'll take one demonstration program. See, in this program, 1 second, I'll open the program in the text, that is text file, demo join.java. Right, this is the program for implementing isAlive and join methods. So this remaining part is same. Only change here is, this is where we are creating 3 different threads, thread number 1, 2, and 3. Then this is where we are using these two functions, isAlive and join functions, isAlive and join functions. So here what it will check, whether OB1 is a handler for thread 1, whether thread 1 is alive, it will return true or false. Depending on that, it's going to print the thread 1 is alive, true. If it is still running, thread 1 is alive, false. If the thread is still not running, if the thread has stopped the execution. So basically these functions will be invoked on the threads to decide whether they are still running or not. And similarly, this join will be waiting. So it will display a message saying that waiting for the threads to finish. So wait for thread 1 to finish, wait for thread 2 to finish, and similarly for thread 3 to finish. Right, again, this status are being checked again after some point of time to check whether the threads are still running or not. But I'll show one sample demonstration. Demo join. Right, demo join. So you can see the path of execution. So here it says thread 1 is alive, that is true, waiting for threads to complete finish. And now you can see at the end here what it order says. The execution order, 3 threads are being created. We are checking thread 1 is alive, it is true. Thread 2 is alive, it is true. And thread 3 is alive, 3, because all the three threads are alive, no, and they are executing by swapping the CPU among themselves. Means CPU is being shared for these 3 threads and they are executing. And at the end, thread 1, 2, and 3, they will execute. They will exit. They will terminate their executions. So once the 3 threads have completed their execution, again we are going to check here, as you can see in the program. Again, we are going to check whether the threads are still active. So then we'll get false message for all. So all the 3 threads have completed their execution, and then main thread has completed. So ultimately what these functions are used for, checking whether threads are running or not. The next entity is about priorities of threads. So what priorities indicates here is, when we have 2 or more than 2 threads which are competing for the CPU, the operating system will decide which thread will get a chance to execute on the CPU. So that is decided by the priority of the threads. So usually high priority thread will be getting priority on top of the low priority threads. So high priority threads will be allowed to execute first compared to low priority threads. So Naveen, you stop recording.